Do me a favor, bro. Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
It is August 31st, 2022. Hold this L has been gone for about 6 to 8 months, but we are back. This is Capel. I'm one of your hosts. I'm with Lonnie. What's up, cuz? What it do? How you
What's
been,
up,
man?
baby? 2022, August, coming on a new football season. No COVID, no restrictions, no rules, baby. Let's go. It's time to rock and roll.
Yeah, it's
Man,
been a
just
while,
coming
man.
from, oh, bro, I'm so excited about this season, man. We can actually give real live predictions without worrying if this person going to play this week, this person going to be out for COVID, this person this and this and that. Bro, I'm excited,
Wait,
man. I've been
they,
looking
they
forward
still
to
got
this.
COVID though. They still
They
got
still
COVID.
got it,
It's
but
just not
it's
as
on a
bad. It's
whole nother
like,
level.
yeah, it's like
That's
5 days.
what
So depending on when they
yeah.
get the COVID, they may not even miss any games. So it's still there, but it's not as serious as it once was. But I'm with you, man. We back to some normalcy, and we just back to football. We just back to hold this cell. Back to giving y'all what y'all want. You know what I'm
Sports
saying?
in
So
general. Sports
exactly, but
betting is legal in Louisiana, Pete.
yeah, we gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. But before we get into any sports talk, man, how you been? What's been
Oh,
going on
bro.
with L Dog? What's been going on with Lonnie?
Uh, man, same old things, selling cars. Um, Me and my wife just came from Destin, Florida. Had a nice
Okay.
trip
All
on the
right.
beach, kicking back, relaxing. Been doing a lot of baseball. We've been on baseball a lot. Been watching a lot of baseball, kind of keeping up with
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit. But other than that, man, just kind of chilling out, man, enjoying life. What about you?
Not a damn thing. I've been relaxing, what I'm saying, enjoying my summer. Now I'm back at work, but I'm just ready to get back into these sports. I've been doing a little
Yes.
bit like you. I've been trying to test the waters with baseball. Some days I have good days, some days bad days. But we're not gonna talk about baseball. We're not gonna talk about my good and bad days betting. We're gonna talk about this football season, what we got to look forward to. But before we get into like the main thing, before we get into like some real football talk, let's just talk about some the new format of our show. So I want to give the listeners something to look forward to. You want to get a listener something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So, like you said earlier, sports betting is now legal in Louisiana. Well, I'm in Texas, but we still got a form of betting, and it's called Prizepicks at underdog.com. Picking over unders, player props. You can make thousands. Trust me, you can make lots of money doing this. So, we're going to talk about what that looks like. We're gonna give you our picks every week we meet. We give you 2 to 3 picks that we think are locks. Now, I will. This is a disclaimer. Don't get mad at us if it don't hit. You know what I'm saying? We look at the data. We give our picks on what we think is gonna happen. Sometimes we wrong. Sometimes we right. But we right more than we are wrong. So if you following what we do, you're probably gonna make a little cash. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that, cuz?
Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, when you say we're a lot more right than we are wrong. Another thing that I want to add that we're gonna be bringing to the show this year is we're gonna have guests. Come on, some of those guests will be able to confirm the winnings, the advice, the picks, and different things like that to kind of back us up in what we're telling you and the advice and the things we're giving. That hey, we're legit when we give you picks. Hey, we're not always right, but a lot more often than not we are. So hey, stay tuned. Y'all got a lot of good stuff coming.
All right, all right. Let's get into it, man. So it's football season and we talk football. You know what I'm saying? Big news, important news, just in case you ain't hear about it. Brian Robinson was shot, I think, 2 times on an attempted car robbery. Prayers out to his family. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to minimize the importance of what happened to him, and because that's very serious. But I do want to point out that because of this incident, now we have to look at the Washington Commanders and Antonio Gibson. In the news, you've been hearing about his issues he's been having with fumbling in preseason, which is where we're going with this conversation. We're talking about preseason overall and what we think. He looked like he lost his job. It looked like Brian Robinson was going to be at least the first, second down back. Maybe Antonio Gibson was going to be, catching passes out the backfield with J.D. McKissick. but now Brian Robinson won't be starting the year. We don't know if he's going to play this year. The outlook looking better for Antonio Gibson. You think Antonio Gibson gonna come through, or you think that Ron Rivera is like done and he's gonna bring Jonathan Williams up, and it's just like not give Antonio Gibson an opportunity?
Gibson gonna get the opportunity, just because he's the most experienced back in the offense. Starting out, J.D. McKissick. We know he's not an every down back. So I think just coming out, with not expecting to lose Brian Robinson a week and a half, 2 weeks before the season starts. Which it wasn't even speculation at this point. He was going to be the starter. So at this point, you kind of got to roll with Antonio Gibson at least for the first couple of weeks, and maybe work some other people in to see what you got. But you're gonna go with what you know will work, or it clearly has worked in the past.
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson is not somebody that's well known for fumbling issues throughout the course of his career, and even when he has those fumble issues, you usually make up for them. He's shown himself to be a pretty good player, dang good running back when he gets touches. What I am worried about is that team in general. I'm not confident about the team or whatever running back was going to be back there, because I just don't have faith in their offense doing anything. I mean, we got McLaurin, that we can talk about, but other than that.
See, I'm on a different side of that. I think the Washington Commanders may actually have a good season. Carson Wentz is not a great quarterback, but he's a good enough quarterback to give you some wins. He did it with in Indianapolis. And you think about the Washington Commanders, you got Curtis Samuel back healthy. They just drafted Jahan Dotson from Penn State. Boy, it's a beast. They got they're gonna have a good running game because they got a good line. They ran the ball pretty good last year. They got McLaurin there, like you just said. The defense was good last year. It's going to be good this year. I think they have Chase Young injured, so that's going to definitely hurt. But they have a pretty stout defense. And they're in the NFC East, which we all know is not the greatest division. So Cowboys, they're going to be all right. They lost some firepower. Giants, who the hell knows what they're going to look like. Philly, they're going to be a beast. So really, Philly is the only team I can look at and say that's the only team in the NFC East that I know for sure that they're going to be better than. Washington can beat the Cowboys. Cowboys got the name, but they don't really have they're not good. They're not good. Let's not even get on the Cowboys.
We've talked for multiple years about Carson Wentz, and you know how I feel about him, or how I felt about him.
How you felt about him. You loved him. I didn't.
Guess what? Well, solely because of him, I have no faith in Washington.
But see, this is the thing. The faith that people had in Carson Wentz was based off of what we thought he was going to be what he did that year that he was the Super Bowl, the MVP contender. I left that a long time ago. What he is now is a quarterback who can manage a game. He can have some big games. He can make some big throws from time to time. He's not going to win you anything special. He's not going to win a Super Bowl. Am I saying Washington Commanders going to Super Bowl? Hell no. What I'm saying is I can see them competing for a playoff spot, one of them last playoff spots, being second in the NFC East. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Where you got to rise above or fold, like you did with the Colts last year to win the game against the worst team in the league, in the Jaguars, and you went out there and got mollywopped.
But did they make the playoffs?
No,
they didn't. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. You're right. Yeah. I give you that. Because of him, they did make the playoffs. But again, new year, new team. They were this close. They may be this close again, which is why I'm saying I'm not necessarily sleeping on the team because, and when we talk about sleeping on the team, I'm not always just thinking about wins and losses. I'm also thinking about betting and fantasy. And you got Michael Pittman last year with Carson Wentz did what? He caught fire, and he was a hell of a receiver, and he gonna be even better this year. And you got McLaurin. Whether you like Wentz or not, he damn sure better than every quarterback McLaurin done had up to this point. So there's gonna be some numbers put up by some of those players on the Washington Commanders. But anyways, that's enough about the Commanders. And I want to move on to more preseason news, things that
before we get off of them. I do want to tell everybody I did read something saying that Brian Robinson did have surgery. had a great surgery. Looks like he's going to make a full recovery, and they're actually optimistic that he will be able to return in 22 for this season, which will be awesome. I just wanted to put that out there. Like you said, prayers up to him and
Yeah,
his family.
that's good news. I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back because I mean, it's unfortunate to happen to him. I want the boy to thrive, but I also hope he come back because I got him. I drafted him in a bunch of best ball leagues, and
Right.
and I need him to come back because that's gonna help. Him coming back and me getting some of that play off the bench. Anyways, Hard Knocks. Have you watched any of the episodes? Detroit Lions Hard
I
Knocks on
have.
HBO.
I have not. I have not.
Well, I guess we can't talk too much about Hard Knocks, but I will tell you this. You can laugh if you want to, but the Detroit Lions, maybe it's because I'm seeing inside the Detroit Lions because we get to see everything recorded. But
Mm-hmm.
man, I just got this feeling that they're gonna actually be a good team this year. I'm not
Well,
saying nothing crazy. I'm
if
not
you
saying nothing
actually
crazy
pay
about Super
attention to
Bowl,
them,
but they like if like well go ahead. I'll let you
they
go
not
chime
they're
in.
not far. They weren't far away a year ago. They were
They weren't.
a team that was competing. They were just losing in the end of every game. Well,
Yep.
you beefed up your defense. You got your starting running back coming back 100% healthy, and DeAndre Swift. I am correct with that. Yes.
Hmm.
Um, I just think that team as a whole can really. And who is their backup running back? Who is their number two running back? Because
They
they
got
got a
Jamal
pretty good
Williams.
number.
Jamal
Yeah,
Williams.
Jamal
They
Williams to
more
go
they more
along with
he not
him.
really a backup. He more like a AJ
A one A
Dillon
one.
with
Yeah,
but a
you
little
know,
less than
yeah.
AJ Dillon as far
Right,
as his
right.
role. But yeah, he not really a backup. So he like 1A, 1C. I'm not even gonna say 1B. Just a little bit past
Right.
B because he not used as much, but he used more than most second running backs or whatever. But yeah. But continue.
And people also miss on the fact if he can stay healthy, Galloway's a pretty good receiver.
Who?
Galloway.
Galloway?
Am I saying it? Am I saying the right name?
I'm not sure who you talking about, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is a beast. That's
Now
their
I
number one
know.
receiver right now. And they got DJ Chalk now. They signed DJ Chalk from Jacksonville.
Uh-huh.
So that's an upgrade.
And I think I'm saying the
Galladay
name
is
of
with the Giants now.
Galladay
Yeah,
is
Galladay is with the Giants
okay.
now.
Kenny
Yeah,
Galladay.
Kenny
I'm sorry.
Galladay. He
Okay.
was the Giants
I
last
told
year,
y'all I'm
cuz.
slipping a little bit. I'm slipping, man. I'm
Yeah.
slipping, bro. I'm
But
slipping.
we got to get to that in a second. We gonna get to the Giants in a second. But Amon Ross St. Brown, man, that boy killed it like the last 6, 7 games of the year, and I think it's real. I don't think it is smoke. I think it's fire. I look at like you said, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, good running back field. Then they got Jameson Williams, who may not even play this year, but that's just an addition to that team that's going to add to the firepower of that wide receiver core when you add a deep threat like DJ Chalk. DJ Chalk, he had injuries at Jacksonville, but we know DJ Chalk, hometown hero. So we know what kind of talent he got. Also went to LSU. So they have some pieces, and Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's a quality quarterback. He's better than Carson Wentz. So I think the Lions, and like I say, maybe I'm just hyped up because I'm watching Hard Knocks and I'm seeing the heart and soul they pouring
Right.
into practices and stuff. But I feel like they may actually play well this year. You know what I'm saying? But you mentioned
I
Kenny
definitely
Galladay.
agree with that though.
Yeah. You mentioned Kenny Galladay. Poor Kenny Galladay. This boy got that 70 million contract, $70 million contract in the Giants. And he ain't it's just it's terrible over there. I don't want to spend too much time with the Giants, but I do want to talk about Saquon Barkley. All I'm gonna say is if you play fantasy football, draft him. That's it. I'm not saying nothing else. You'll thank me later. Any news that you want to talk about preseason? Any things that you noticed that you think are going to be significant to the season coming up?
I was still processing the Saquon Barkley comment. So
Okay,
my bad
well,
for the hesitation. No,
let's talk about it.
not in a bad way, not in a
Oh,
bad way
okay.
because I'm 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 with you, and
Hmm.
I lean to what you're saying, and I really feel like it until week three when he sprained his ankle or get a live frank injury. Like it seems like every other day I see another player coming up with a list ranked in. But that's just neither here or there. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a monster.
He's gonna stay
That's
healthy this
just the
year.
big question
I
mark for
feel
me.
like this was
I
gonna
hope
happen. I
so.
feel like he's gonna stay healthy. You know, their new coach was the Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills. So I'm expecting a high-powered offense. They beefed up that offensive line, which is one of the issues, is why he didn't have no room to run. Daniel Jones, I'm hoping he's going to be better. A lot of people are thinking maybe he can take the next leap, the next step forward, because Brian Daboll worked with Josh Allen, and we saw what Josh Allen was when he started where he is now. Daniel Jones won't be Josh Allen, but you know what I'm saying, just taking the next step forward.
Right.
So I got high hopes for Saquon. Anyways, so we the season is going to be great. I'm so excited about September 8th next week, and then that Sunday September 11th. But there's a lot of depth in these positions: quarterback, wide receiver, even tight end, running back. Like, I've had such a hard time trying to figure out who top fives are. You know what I'm saying? Because I get to, my 1 and 2, and then when I get to 3, I'm like, man, it could be this person, it could be this person, it could be this person. So I'm curious to know from you, and I'm gonna tell you mine as well, like who your top fives are at each position. So starting at running back, and I'm gonna give you the floor to start off because I've been doing a whole lot of talking, but I've been giving you the floor
No,
to
man.
start off.
No,
So
definitely.
with the quarter, let's
Like I
start
said, I
off
didn't.
with tight. Well, go ahead. I'm listening.
Shoot, I didn't interject more than enough on you talking. So no, you know how we do, man. We just flow together. But
Yeah.
I'll kind of segue on what you was about to say about. Now, I'll go ahead and start with tight end.
All right.
Which is a position most people don't start with. You just be a little odd, just come off the dump with it.
Yeah, we don't
My
start
number
with the
one tight end.
the position that people don't, the slow position, and go to the
Yeah,
top, the
and I
quarterback. You
and
know
I
what I'm
need
saying? Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
to hear me on this, people. You see what he just said about draft Saquon Barkley, draft Darren Waller, draft Darren Waller,
So
and I
that's
got
that's
more to come.
that's number 5 or number 1. We going up to 1 to 5 or 5 to 1.
You talking about tight ends?
Yes,
Just tight ends?
yes. Top 5 tight ends.
Oh, he number one.
Okay.
Number 2 and 3 are almost blocks for anybody who knows fantasy football. And for me, that's Travis Kelce and George Kittle. That's
Okay.
2 and 3. In the order in which I said them. And keep in mind, y'all, you know how much I love George Kittle, but Travis Kelce is just Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
The other two that man, it's the from that point on, the now my number 4, and I'm really saying he's a tight end, but he really not, is my boy from Atlanta. His name
Kyle
is
Pitts.
I'm losing it. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is gonna be a dog,
Yeah.
y'all. Kyle Kyle Pitts is gonna have outrageous numbers. He gonna get double and triple coverage this year, though.
Yeah.
I know it's coming because they don't have any receivers like talking about for Atlanta that I have any kind of really real respect for. That I don't look at Kyle Pitts as the number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
With that being said, my number 5, there's a multitude of tight ends that I feel like can be in that top 5 range that are T.J. Hawkinson. The tight
Just
end
give us one.
from
Just give us one. Can't name all
let's
of them.
go T.J. I'll go T.J. Hawkinson.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
TJ
take T.J.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson number 5.
I like your top 5. Some of the people you name gonna be in my top 5. I'm gonna start with my 5th pick. My 5th pick is, you probably gonna laugh when you hear this, but Pat Fryermuth. I'm telling you,
No, he was one
Fryermuth
of
from
those ones that
Pittsburgh.
I was talking about.
He was a rookie last year. He had the most receptions and
Monster.
and and I think targets for a rookie tight end ever. And I think that's right. If I'm wrong, my apologies. But he had one of the better tight ends for a rookie in NFL history. And he's going to be playing with either a rookie quarterback or a quarterback who will check the ball down in Mitch Trubisky. So he's going to shine this year. Then I look at my number 4 tight end, Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is going to kill it this year. Don't be surprised if Dallas Goedert is the number 2 tight end by the end of the year. The reason why I say number 2 is because I just don't, see him like surpassing, these next 3. But I wouldn't be surprised. Tight end number 3, Darren Waller. Darren Waller having some contract issues has been kind of on the low. I think they've been kind of like making it seem like he got some injury issues but whatever. But Darren Goddard is a beast. We've seen what he can do. He's not gonna be able to be double covered. You got Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow has come alive. Darren Waller's gonna have some mismatches in that slot position to get some of them linebackers and smaller corners. He's gonna kill it. So I agree with you. Darren Waller's off the chain. He's gonna have a hell of a season. But number 2, how did you miss this guy? I just think you forgot Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was the leading tight end last year. We got that quick conversation about that. But Mark Andrews is going to be a beast. And I mean, the dude is amazing. He had a hell of a run with a backup quarterback last year in Tyler Huntley, and now he's getting Lamar Jackson back. And then, of course, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, I know he's older, but with the target share he's going to get with no Tyreek Hill, man, he's going to beat many wide receivers in targets and yards. Now, let's go to this Mark Andrews. Give me your reason for not putting Mark Andrews in your top 5.
How dare you leave George Kittle out of the top 5?
Because he's not a top 5 tight end.
What?
Nope. George Kittle will always be one of the best all-around tight ends.
Yeah, one bad year.
You're absolutely right. He's been one of the best all-around tight ends. But when we talk about the best tight ends, we're talking about production.
That's what I'm talking about. Travis Kelce.
We've had this conversation.
The only tight end to have more receiving.
And what year are we talking about this year? What year are we talking about? 2023? Exactly.
Yeah. When he had, but keep in mind of who he had throwing to him too.
That's part of the reason why. Listen, you don't get the accolades without having the numbers to go with it. And if you are on a team that hinders you from getting those numbers, then you suffer. That's just the way it is. If George Kittle was on one of these other teams putting up bigger numbers, you damn right. I would definitely have him in your top 5. But he's with the 49ers, and now he's going to a quarterback who may have a lower passing percentage and they're going to run the ball more, so he may have even less volume.
He was hurt half of last year, right?
That's also another thing. He gets hurt a lot. So you got to factor all that in. That's why he's not in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's not in my top 5. Is he a beast? Yes. Could he have a year and end up being in the top 5 at the end of the year because of his production? Yes. But going into the season, I got him at 7 because my 6 is Kyle Pitts. Now, don't run away from this Mark Andrews conversation. I know we got to move on, but I just want to hear real quick.
Tell me. Run away from Mark Andrews. In my mind, like I told you, I had a bunch of people in that 5 range.
Like, you got him at 5?
I got him. No, I got Mark Andrews in that same range as T.J. Hockenson. He's the person that don't give you 110 yards a game. He may give you 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's more of a touchdown man than he is yards. And he don't pile up receptions and yards. He usually piles up touchdowns. I mean, he gets a little bit of both, but Mark Andrews is more of a touchdown-dependent tight end. If he don't have touchdowns, he'll give you 5 receptions for 60 yards. We ain't talking about a Travis Kelce that'll give you 10 receptions for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're not getting that out of Mark Andrews. And I don't think, and what I saw out of Darren Waller last year, giving me 100 plus 1,000 yards receiving, and I think 100 receptions. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And of course, like I said, George Kittle, he was hurt last year, but he still was in the top 5 in tight ends. He's been that way in the last 3 or 4 years straight.
It's not hard to be in the top 5. First of all, I don't think that's true. First of all, I don't think that's 100% true. But even if it is true, it's not hard to be in the top 5 of tight ends because most of them suck. But again, we talk about some people ascending who are younger and have better situations, which is why he falls out.
Then I'll give them their props.
I'm not going to do that. I'm giving them their props on what I think is going to happen because I want to be before the party. I'm not trying to be like everybody else, be like, oh, yeah, he top 5 because he done it. No, I want to be right. So when he do it, I'm going to say, told you, because my analysis is that sharp. And I will say this. You do realize that Mark Andrews – well, I mean, that's all part of it. You get something right, you get something wrong. But I would tell you this, and we'll move on. I just want to throw this little nugget at you. Mark Andrews finished number 1 in fantasy last year. I'm just gonna drop that right there, and we can move on.
I'm
So
not
so maybe
surprised.
his numbers not what you thought they were because he was a number 1 fantasy tight end last year, even over Travis
Oh, I
Kelce.
agree 100%. He catch a
Uh,
lot of touchdowns.
no, this was not just touchdowns. Mark Andrews was a beast last year with yardage and completions. He was the offense last year for them. Yes, wide receiver. So I go with my top 5 as wide receiver. Now, wide receiver has been deeper than it has ever been in. I mean, for me, ever. And I've been following football since I could talk. And I don't remember a time where I could look at it and say all these wide receivers seem like they could be superstars. It's so many more than just 5, but we got to narrow it down to 5. So I'm gonna do my best. I may leave somebody out that deserves to be in there. If you think somebody deserves to be in there, leave out. Please drop a comment and tell me why you think so I can tell you why you're wrong. But we can have a conversation about it. But my number 5 wide receiver, number 5. No, I'm gonna start number 1 because it's so much easier. Number 1 for me this year, Justin Jefferson. I know he's young. I know he's young. I know he's young. But Justin Jefferson has done things in his first 2 years as a receiver that nobody has ever done in NFL history. He's ascending. He's in his 3rd year. He has a new offensive coordinator a new coach who was the offensive coordinator for the LA Rams. They are going to open it up. They're going to spread it out. They're going to throw the ball probably 10 times more, not 10 times, but 10 times more a game than they did last year. And when you add into the fact that he's in a weak division playing the Lions twice, which I know I said I like them, but I still think people are going to put up points against him, playing the Bears twice, you know, I think he's just going to light it up this year. He's going to be unstoppable. You can't double him because you got Adam Thielen and you got that kid KJ Osborne, who's great. Then you got Dalvin Cook coming out the backfield. So Justin Jefferson is going to be the man this year. Then I go to Devontae Adams. I know he may not put up the exact same numbers he did with the Packers, but the boy is a beast. I mean, he can't be stopped. He can't be stopped. If Derek Carr decides that he wants to go to him 15 times a game, he gonna catch at least 12 of those balls because he's Devontae Adams. He's that good. I go
Mhm.
from then number 3. I got to give Cooper Kupp some love. Cooper Kupp may not be the athletic specimen that some of these big, tall receivers are, but Cooper Kupp will shake you out your draws. You can't cover the boy. You can't cover him on the outside. You can't cover him on the inside. He is too quick, too shifty. He runs routes too precise. He can't be touched. So Cooper Kupp is my number 3. Then I got to go to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs still got it. He with one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Josh Allen. I mean, again, he on one of the most high-powered offenses. Isaiah McKenzie gonna be coming out the slot, fast, speedy guy. Gabriel Davis, which a lot of people don't know about right now because they think he was just like a, you know, um, somebody coming off the bench, but there's no more Emmanuel Sanders, there's no more Cole Beasley. So those 2 guys I just named, watch, you're not going to be able to cover them. They're going to be open.
Mhm.
And Stephon Diggs is going to be open as well. The offense is going to be super high power, but Stephon Diggs is going to be the reason why those guys are seeing because they're going to be too worried about covering Stephon Diggs because he's so great. So he's number 4. And this is where I have a little issue because number 5, I'm like you, there's so many people that I want to put here. It's really hard for me to just kind of narrow it down to one person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick somebody who I think is going to make it in the top 5 that wasn't there last year, and most people may not believe he's going to be there this year. You're gonna jump on me when I say this. Mike Williams. I know Mike Williams. I knew you was gonna laugh, cuz I knew it. Mike Williams. I'm telling you, Mike Williams, they gave that boy the bag. They paid him. They put money in his pocket. They clearly said you are the receiver of the future for this team. And he had games last year where you would say, man, that boy is a beast. Then he had games last year you'd be like, where the hell are you? You know what I'm saying? You so athletic, you this specimen. Where are you? You disappeared. You gave me like 4 fantasy points. But I think this is the year where that turns around. Keenan Allen is on he's at 30 years old. He's not catching touchdowns. He's just strictly, a possession receiver, nothing down the field. And I think Mike Williams is going to be the man this year. And the reason why is because of Herbert, Justin Herbert. No, enough said. We know what kind of quarterback he is. People looking at him as the best quarterback in the league. I don't quite think that, but Mike Williams, man, I said enough. I said enough. Go ahead. What's your
All
top
right.
5?
I got 4 out of the 5. I don't know where that fifth one. I
Well,
don't know. I
we
really
can
can't
talk about
think
that
of
after you
it.
give your
Good
five.
no,
Because
good evaluation. Hey, you may surprise us all. You know, we all gonna think you're crazy. But look, my top five, my top four are the same people, just in a different order. Um, I gotta give Cooper Cup his love. I'm gonna put him number one. Um, solely off of the fact that I strongly believe he is going to be one of those people that he is still going to get the receptions. He's still going to get the looks. He's still going to, he's a great possession. And to add to that, he's still going to get a lot of red zone looks. He's going to get those things. Well, this is why my number one, two, and three is different. Okay, number two, I'm going Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, the only reason I put Cooper Cup ahead of him is because I think Darren Waller gonna steal a lot of them touchdowns and red zone opportunities away from. And I want y'all to keep in mind, I'm not talking about as far as production, just as an NFL player. I'm talking about fantasy. I'm referring to this as fantasy and who I think will have the better fantasy years. And I do think Devontae Adams being number two, because he will get some touchdowns taken away. And that's the only thing that worries me about my number three pick, which is Justin Jefferson, is Adam Thielen. When they get in the red zone, Kirk Cousins looks for Adam Thielen. He does. I mean, he just does. Number four, Stephon Diggs, dude, I love him. He could easily, in my book, be the number one or two receiver this year in fantasy. I strongly believe that Josh Allen and him are coming out to make a point this year, and I do believe that they are top two or three tandem together in the NFL. I think they coming out to prove that. Now, my number five that I'm looking at, and I think is going to surprise a lot of people, AJ Brown.
I can see
AJ
that.
Brown
I like
is
that pick.
going
I
to have
do. I like
a
that pick.
monster year. And I'm going to tell you something. If y'all watch Jalen Hurts, even back in college, when he gets comfortable with somebody, now AJ Brown can drop the ball from time to time. But if he can be a possession receiver and catch the ball for Jalen Hurts and he get comfortable with him, Jalen Hurts gonna go to him and keep going to him, and he'll force it to him sometimes, probably even when he shouldn't, or he'll run. But Jalen Hurts is gonna be looking for AJ Brown. So I see AJ Brown having a big year this year, touchdown wise also.
I agree that that's a good analysis. I could see AJ Brown being in that top five. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely right. The reports out of training camp is that Jalen Hurts has been looking for nobody but AJ Brown. And Jalen Hurts, they're still going to run the ball a lot. So he's not going to throw the ball as much as many other teams. But when he throws the ball, he's probably going to hyper focus in on not Devontae Smith, but Dallas Goedert and AJ Brown for those short routes. And we know that Devontae Smith probably going to be more like a deep threat, even though he can run routes. As talented as Devontae Smith is, this trade for AJ Brown is really going to hurt him as a production receiver because AJ Brown is so big and so talented, so strong and fast that he's an easier target for somebody like Jalen Hurts who don't have great accuracy. So I agree with you 100%. I say I agree with you. I can see it happening. I still like my Mike Williams pick because I feel like Mike Williams has a better quarterback. He has a better opportunity, even though he has other people that's going to get targets. They throw the ball like 40 times a game. You know what I'm saying? So he's
Well, I
gonna
think that's going to
even if
change
you
a little bit too, because you
oh
know they just signed
it
Sony Michel too.
it don't matter. Sony Michel, they signed him for depth because Isaiah Spiller ain't living up to the draft that they picked. So he's probably gonna need some more time to develop. That's the only reason why they signed Sony Michel. He can't catch out the backfield. He's not gonna be a factor at
Well,
all
no, don't
on
they
that
still
team.
tell me? Am I tripping? They don't have Austin Eckler no more.
Yeah, they say also that. The reason why I said Sony Michel is because he's a backup, and Isaiah Spiller, they drafted him to be the backup to help spell Austin Eckler, but Isaiah Spiller has not played well in preseason at all, so he's probably not going to be much of a factor, at least early on. But I seriously doubt it's going to be a factor. Joshua Kelly is still the number 2 back on that team, but as far as when it comes to passing, Sony Michel wouldn't be a issue anyways because he don't catch well. You know what I'm saying? So
I was just thinking about just the volume of passes going to Mike Williams between the run game. Keenan Allen still gonna get his looks, And I mean, tight end. I mean, they still gonna get some looks. I just
I
thought
mean,
Mike Williams just seemed like more of a deep threat. I mean, he's never been the type that I saw running routes or a possession receiver, but I mean, he busts your head on deep threats. But
see,
I
that's the
mean,
thing. He was a deep threat early. Last year, he was more of a route runner than he was in the past. I think this year he's going to take that step. So my prediction is that he's going to be a top 5 receiver. But I like your AJ Brown prediction. AJ Brown, honestly, I see an easier path to him being a top 5 receiver. I really do. But I think I'm gonna go with Mike Williams because I like the offense better, and I know he's gonna have more opportunities in the passing game. AJ Brown probably won't have as many opportunities as Mike Williams because the offense is not as passing dominant, but he's going to be the main factor. And because he's going to be the main, factor on offense, he's still going to have more than enough. And he's definitely going to be the red zone threat too. So that's a good pick. Let's move on to running backs. I'll let you go ahead and get your top 5 running backs, what they look like.
top 5 running backs, man. For me, running back is always funny. But obviously, I'm gonna go with the two obvious. And keep in mind, this is in no specific order. I think they're both great picks. I mean, if you're in a PPR league, I prefer Jonathan Taylor. Derrick Henry is always at the top of the list. I mean, the I do. I'm gonna say this. Well, let me go in order. My number one, number two. I would say they 1A, 1B for me. Jonathan Taylor. I think he will take a step back, but I think Derrick Henry's gonna take a step forward. I mean, he was one of the top 3 backs, and he missed 7 games, 8 games.
Eight
And,
games. Yeah.
and so, I mean, when you look at that, I mean, the dude's just a monster. My number 3 running back for me, I like Dalvin Cook this year. I
Mm.
like Dalvin Cook a lot, and also looking at the fact that Alexander Madison, they're looking to possibly move on. Not move on from him, but
But
trade him.
trade, yeah.
But so to me, Dalvin Cook, if he can stay healthy, we all know what Dalvin Cook can do. I think he's going to be a big, big factor for that team this year. I'm gonna tell you somebody else. I was loving, but I'm a little worried now because I heard he got a Liz Frank injury. Is what's the name for Pittsburgh? Um,
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris got a Liz Frank injury. So they got me a little worried about him. I was pretty high on him coming into the year, so that kind of got me a little on edge. I'm not real sure about how that situation is gonna go. Um, I look at a lot of running backs now, and I look at a lot of teams that have a lot of multi running backs. There's a lot of multi running backs in the backfield. You don't have a whole bunch of those workhorses. And I'm probably gonna surprise you with this, but I told you I was kind of on board with you earlier when we were talking about it. But I think I put Saquon Barkley as my number 4 running back, and I put Christian McCaffrey as my number 5.
Okay. I like the top 5. Mine's gonna be a little bit different. So my number 5 running back is gonna be David Montgomery. And let me tell you why. I'm joking. Not David
Okay,
Montgomery.
because I was
I
gonna
just
say,
want to
bro, I
see the
think
look on
Khalil,
your face,
I
cuz.
just want, I was gonna say, bro, I think Khalil Herbert's gonna take some of his touches, bro. He looking good
And
in preseason.
I agree with you there. I think Khalil Herbert's gonna have more of a role this year with David Montgomery being in the backfield. But I was just joking. I don't want to talk about
Okay,
David Montgomery. That
so
was a straight up joke. Um, but my
good.
my number 1 running back is Derrick Henry. Like hands down. Derrick Henry had 900 rushing yards in 8 games. If he would have finished the season, he was on pace to at least get around 1900 to 2000. Jonathan Taylor finished with like 1800 something yards. So they'd have been like neck and neck. Um, and yes, you're right. In PPR, Jonathan Taylor does catch more passes, but I think Jonathan Taylor is going to take a step back because they're going to throw the ball more because they have a quarterback that would allow that. Michael Pittman is the one, in my opinion, who's going to take a step forward. Jonathan Taylor is going to only take a step back because his production is going to be less as far as his touches. I don't think they want to run him in the ground like they did last year. They didn't have a choice. This year, I think they're going to have more of a choice to move the ball down the field. He may get more catches out the backfield, but I think he's going to get less carries on the ground. So his production may go down by a couple hundred yards. But
Yeah,
Derrick
and
Henry,
I think Derrick
he's gonna
Henry actually catches the ball off the backfield more now.
he
That's
started
why I
more
kind
last
of
year.
he
Yes, he
did he
started more
did
last year and then he got hurt. And we don't know
right.
how that would have progressed. But last year he did start catching more at the backfield. And I think they're going to use him more like that as well. I think people are sleeping on Tennessee. They think because AJ Brown got traded that now they don't have to. They still got pretty much the same team. A few offensive linemen are gone. So we don't know how that's going to look as far as the strength of the line. But AJ Brown was great, but AJ Brown, like, let's be real. AJ Brown didn't kill it, last year. He just didn't. He had a decent year, but he was out a lot. And then you look at Tannehill, like AJ Brown is not a separator when it comes to route running. He's not. He's just a big guy. You ask
Right.
somebody like Robert Woods who can run routes, who can separate. How would the ACL hold up? We don't know. But if he can, but he's a route runner, so he may be able to get open better. Treylon Burks, he's a rookie. He reminds me of AJ Brown, to be completely honest with you, as far as like his look. So will he be able to be like AJ Brown his rookie year? AJ Brown had a good rookie year, but he came on later in the year. Treylon Burks is going to start off the beginning of the year, so he may start off as one of the top rookie wide receivers. We don't know, So I think that people are sleeping on Tennessee. They're in a weak division. I think that Derrick Henry is going to just do his thing. Then next is Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he deserves it. He had a hell of a year. We've seen what kind of running back he is. He's a beast. And he's a number 2 running back, in my opinion. The number 3 running back for me is Christian McCaffrey. I'm when I make these decisions, it's all about assuming that he's 100% healthy and ready to go. Christian McCaffrey has shown us what he can do when he's able to stay in the game and not be out for games. If he's able to go through at least 14 games, 15 games, he's going to be one of the top backs because he's going to put up so many all-purpose yards. He's shifty. He can catch like a wide receiver. He's quick. He's fast. I mean, he's just an amazing back. And he has a better quarterback that he's probably working with the best quarterback since he's been in the league. Baker Mayfield is not great, but he's better than what he's been with Carolina's been having in the past. So I like Christian McCaffrey. And then this is where it gets a little harder for me. I like Dalvin Cook. I think I'm gonna have to take Dalvin Cook on by number 4. I think he's gonna have a great year. I think he's gonna have a better passing year this year because I think they're gonna run the ball less. So he may not have those great running numbers, but I think with the combination of the opportunities he's gonna have in the passing game is gonna like help him have a lot of all-purpose yards. And I contemplated number 5, Najee Harris. I'm not really worried about the Lisfranc injury because according to them, it was an injury. It's done. If he wasn't done, they would have not played him in a preseason game. Preseason games are not important enough to play your player when they got a Lisfranc injury or they're not all the way healed. So the fact that he played, and if you saw the game, he didn't look like he had an injury. He was running. He was running hard. So I'm not worried about that injury. I think the reason he said it is because it's gone. That's why I think he talked about it because we didn't hear anything about it until he mentioned it that day. So I'm not worried about Najee Harris having an injury, but I am going to go to Saquon Barkley because I do believe Saquon Barkley will be back. He got something to prove. I watched him on Pivot Podcast. He is hungry. He is ready to show people that he is still that back and that he can still do big things. And I got faith that he's going to do those things. So I'm with Saquon Barkley all day. Let's go ahead and move to our top 5 quarterbacks. I love talking about quarterback, man, because it's just one of those things that I think most people have an idea of who their top 8 quarterbacks, but I think when you start getting into like that 1, 2, and 3 is when it's really different. I think it's the most diverse group of diverse position where you have many people like changing what they think the 1, 2, or 3 is. You know what I'm saying? So I had to think about this pretty hard, but if I had to start with my number 5 quarterback, I'm going to say Tom Brady. Say what you want. Say what you want. Say what you want. The reason why I put Tom Brady at number 5 is not because he's not the greatest of all time and not because he didn't have a great year last year. Tom Brady at this point in his career is dependent on things being perfect around him. And right now, things are not. He lost pretty much all of his offensive line through retirement or injury. He has his best wide receiver, Chris Godwin, is coming back from an ACL tear, so that's going to be a while before he's 100%. Mike Evans is a year older. He's great, 1,000 yards every year, but he's a year older. I love the Julio Jones pick, but we really don't know what Julio Jones got. If I had to guess, I would say he still got a lot left in the tank, but we really don't know until we see it. He has a good back end Leonard Fournette, but it really comes down to that offensive line. We know that his kryptonite is pass rush up the middle. And if that offensive line don't hold up, Tom Brady won't have a great year. So that's why I have him number 5. Remember, we're predicting what we think is going to happen going into after this year. So if I was giving it based off what happened last year, he'd probably be number 1 or 2. But I think he's going to be number 5. After that, I think it's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have the weapons he always had, but Aaron Rodgers is going to make a way. Before it's all said and done, we're going to be looking back and saying, why do we doubt this man? Now, I don't think he'll have another MVP season like he did last year because Devontae Adams is something that you just can't replace. But I still think he's gonna make good with the receivers he have between Lazard, Cobb, Aaron Jones out the backfield, AJ Dillon out the backfield, and these new guys, Romeo Doubs and maybe Christian Watson, and Sammy Watkins. And Tanya, he coming off injury, so I don't know how ready he's gonna be to start. But you're right, Tanya as well. So Aaron Rodgers is my number 4, and now we have the wave of young guys. The wave of young guys that I absolutely love, but not just yet. Number 3 is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford showed how great he could be. He was with a Lions team, and everybody thought he was just another stat pattern. You put him with an actual coach and a line and a team and an offense and receivers and running backs. Super Bowl first year. I believe that if Matthew Stafford was with another organization, we'll be talking about him as one of the greats of all time, just to be completely real. So I'm giving him his kudos because he's younger and he still has those weapons. That's the biggest thing. He still has, and they added one in Allen Robinson, who in my opinion is probably a better fit than OBJ because he's healthy. OBJ was still injured when he was with them last year, even though he was playing well. Allen Robinson is 100% healthy. And you know Allen Robinson is a beast. Go back to the Jacksonville Jaguar days and when he first signed with the Bears. He's been with bad teams, bad quarterbacks. He's going to be with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. Allen Robinson going to eat. Now to the young quarterbacks. Herbert, man. Justin Herbert is a beast. I know that he's only in his 3rd year. He ain't even made a playoff, but I can't deny greatness when I see it. This dude here started his career looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as a rookie. And he's just getting better and better. I can't imagine that he is not. You know what? I have to take a step back. I messed up. I messed up. I got to put Tom Brady 6. I do. I got to put Tom Brady 6. I messed up. I'm a man. I will admit when I mess up, but I got to put Tom Brady 6, and then I got to move Aaron Rodgers to 5. Then I got to go Matthew Stafford to 4. I'm still at Justin Herbert for number 3, and now for number 2 is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a beast. At the end of the year, he may be the number 1, but I'm not giving up on Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people are saying Patrick Mahomes is not the number 1 quarterback. He lost Tyreek Hill. They don't have no faith in MBS. They don't have no faith in Nicole Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore's a rookie. Clyde Edwards-Helaire they don't have no faith in nothing he has to work with. But I have faith in Patrick Mahomes. And at the end of the year, he gonna be sitting at the top. I know you're looking like, okay, you only got 2 people left. Which one of these dudes you gonna leave out?
and I was already thinking like I'm gonna go 1 through 5, and clearly, because I know how you feel about Patrick Mahomes, I was like, he's tripping. So
it wasn't Patrick Mahomes that I left out. It was going to be Josh Allen, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta go backwards.
I'm like, wait a minute. He done got the 3, and now he done got the 2. And I ain't heard. I'm like, wait a minute. We got a problem. We got a serious problem. Okay, but I'm gonna give you mine 1 through 5. Okay, and mine is similar to yours, but not quite. You know how I feel about somebody this year, so he's gonna be in my top 3. But I cannot put him above Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. What I do like about Josh Allen more than Patrick Mahomes this year is I do think he has more weapons. I also think his legs, he used those more than Patrick Mahomes does, which is going to allow him to have more fantasy points. He'll rush for more touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes will throw for more. When it comes down to it, you get 2 more points for rushing touchdowns, and he's going to throw along with it. So I think Josh Allen 1. I'm going to take, obviously, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes number 2. And that could go either way, y'all. That's a toss-up for me. Number 3, it's my surprise sleeper this year. Derek Carr. Derek Carr will be a top 3 fantasy quarterback this year, y'all. Watch and see. Number 4, I agree with you 100%. I'm Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers all the way. I can't even put him at 5. I love Matthew Stafford. I can't put, Aaron Rodgers. As Stephen A would say, he's a bad man. And I ain't putting many people except the 3 people I named ahead of him. And do I think Derek Carr is better? No. 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 Let me let y'all know. I think he's going to have a better fantasy year. I do not think he's better than Aaron Rodgers on any planet. But my number 5 quarterback, man, I went back and forth on who would be my number 5 quarterback. And I got to go Justin Herbert. I think he's going to kill it this year, too. I mean, not having him in my top 5 this year, I think is crazy. I think he's going to be one of the top 5 in passing yards. I think he's going to be in the top 5 in every category. I can't. The only person I know that is a wild card is Derek Carr, obviously. But, those other guys, I don't see them not being in the top 5.
Okay. So I like your top 5. You know what I'm saying? I like Derek Carr this year. I couldn't put him in my top 5 though. I think he's gonna have a great year. I think he's gonna have a great year. And I think when you look at fantasy production, he's gonna have a good year. And just when you just talk about his year in general, I think he's gonna have a good year. But I just couldn't do it. Can't do it. But at the end of the year, you may be the one saying, "I told you so." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just
yeah, your
remember, you
props.
got Devontae Adams.
He does. He does. He has a high-powered offense.
And
So
he pulled off being a top 5, top 10 quarterback last year with Hunter Renfrow and Waller.
yeah, that's true. That is true. So I
So
mean,
just to put that out there.
yeah. So we've been going for about an hour. We about to go ahead and cut the show. Stop the show or whatever. You know what I'm saying, and move on. And we wanted to talk to you guys about just the way we're gonna do our picks. We're not giving any picks today, but next week is the first week of football. So when we drop our second episode next Friday, you're going to be able to hear us talk about what picks that we like. I'm going to talk about picks that I think are good for Prizepicks and Underdog, and Lonnie's going to talk about picks that he thinks are good for FanDuel. And I might give you some FanDuel picks, and he may give you some Prizepicks and Underdog as well. Even though we both don't play those particular formats, we still may have an idea based off of looking at the numbers and
Probably
research.
throwing a little DraftKings too.
Yeah, the little DraftKings, we may see some picks at other sites that we may throw in as well. But for most part, it's gonna be FanDuel, Prizepicks, Underdog, and DraftKings. So we give you those picks. We're gonna put them out on Friday. If we see something that we think is really, really good, we might drop a little quick episode. Hey, great pick out. It may be Monday because those picks change. So we may put something out and say, go drop, whatever you want to drop on these 2 picks or this pick. You know what I'm saying? So before it changes, you may get there early, that get there early and place a bet on it, but for the most part, on Fridays, you're gonna be able to hear our sports analysis as well as our analysis for our picks. But we don't have any picks today. We're trying to wait until everything is posted. It's a little early still. I know we still got some stuff out there, but we're gonna have some stuff ready for y'all on Friday. We bring it back Smoke and Fire. Next week we'll have Smoke and Fire for y'all. Anything that you want to add before we head out, man?
Man, the only thing is, people, like, tune in, subscribe. We are urging you big time this year. Make comments. If you would like to be on the show, comment on the show. Let us know you would like to join in. Let us know you want to be a part of the discussion. If it's something that you disagree with, something you want to debate with us, something you want to challenge, either me, Capel, or both of us, don't hesitate. Comment. Let us know. We will be happy to have you on. Come get some. We are welcoming in all people this year, this season, to come get some. So come get some so we can have you over sale.
And if you decide to come on, come ready. Because you can hear, like, I know you can tell that we know our stuff. You know what I'm saying? We follow sports. We don't just watch sports. We follow sports like we work for ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So don't get embarrassed.
We will crush you.
Don't get embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Will.
But all jokes aside, man, we having fun. We want you guys to come on the show and have fun with us. You know, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like Lonnie said, like, share, subscribe. This is Hold This L. I'm Capel.
I'm Lonnie.
That was delayed, man. We got to do better than that for the people on our first day back. This is Hold This L. I'm Capel.
And I'm Lonnie.
We out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.